The DPC heard a presentation by members of consultancy provider Environmental Resources Management, who carried out the assessment for Shell. The EIA was put together following 2 rounds of statutory consultation, as well as what ERM called detailed consultation with the airport authorities, who accepted the findings of an aeronautical study. The EIA dealt with areas ranging from water quality to noise pollution to ecology and more.
None of the impacts that we're predicting are greater than minor. In many cases they are not significant. For instance, there are no direct emissions to air, so there's no impact to air quality apart from construction dust, during construction obviously. And I think one of the important things to highlight is the other purpose of the EIA is not only to identify potential impacts, but to also set out ways in which these impacts can be mitigated and controlled and minimised.
Well, it seems to be thorough. It seems to have gone through all the different processes it has to go. It seems to have good, sound conclusions. And I think the response today in planning and the discussions we've had will have picked up anything that perhaps may have needed a little bit of refining. And the fact that it's gone through without any major upset shows that it's been a sound process.
Some concerns were put forward by the Environmental Safety Group, who said they were grateful for the consultation, but added this did not negate their objection to the facility's location. Concerns included questions over containment around the tanks, as well as possible steel corrosion of pipes.
Well, I think they've made some very legitimate, raised legitimate questions and some important questions, but although they're not fully addressed at this stage, that's because they sit within the COMA regime and the COMA process, so they're not necessarily something you'd expect to see addressed to that level of detail within an EIA, which really looks at the environmental impacts. So the questions around ongoing maintenance will be picked up in the operational permit that needs to be obtained from the Environment Agency. And also the COMA process needs to be undertaken. So there's a pre-construction safety report and a pre-operation safety report. And that will be done also through the Environmental Agency, and they will be seeking advice from UK bodies on that.
An EIA certificate will now be granted to the project by the Town Planning Department.